In 26 hours. In 26 hours, life as you know it will change forever. In 26 hours, it begins. In 26 hours, 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Let me remind you that we here at Lionel Nation, you're looking at them. This is Al and me. We will do our regular 7 p.m. show and then a show immediately following the annihilation that cannot be put into words. Today, my friends, I want to provide with you just a myriad of mosaic, a pastiche, a kind of a cornucopia, an assembly, an ensemble of a variety of topics in addition to the obvious. And I want you to just say in no particular order. I hope you have, dear friends, I hope you have followed me on the X. We call it the X. You probably didn't know this is called the X. Used to be called Twitter, but now it's called the X. And I put to I'm telling you, it is still the best news source there is, bar none. Here is my link, by the way. Please join me on X, and you will get to see not only my, you would call them hilarious, my rebarbative reposts, my concupiscent rejoinders, dare I say, ribbled when necessary, riparian, I wouldn't go that far, but nonetheless, effulgent, crepuscular, oh yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Without a doubt. Now, today, my friends, let us start with just this particular way of looking at things. This is, I read about this. This was today. This was a typhoon versus a tycoon, but this was a typhoon. This I found to be utterly and absolutely fascinating. This, where is this? Maybe I don't have this. I don't even know. I believe it was a typhoon that was in Vietnam, if I recall correct. Oh, yes. This is northern Vietnam has been experiencing deadly high winds from Super Typhoon Yagi, Y-A-G-I. The typhoon has caused buildings to break apart, a large boat sinking, and landslides. And by the way, this goes to show you a lot about the construction standards of buildings in Vietnam. But get a load of this and imagine you could somehow harness this as a weapon. Check that out. This is my favorite. Just comes right off. Look at that. Just gone. There you go. Just right off. There we go. He's saying, holy moly. This dude really must like fishing. Just another day. Just imagine the weatherman on that local show. I'm going to give you an update of this. This is the power of God. This is a boat. It normally is designed to handle things like this. Not necessarily. Hear that? Right over. A boat. Kind of in water. Ferris wheel. God, I love weather. Look at this. This is God. This is when you think you're something with your weapons of mass destruction. harnessing. Wow. Incredible. This is from a fellow by the name of Andy No, NGO, I believe is the way. I don't know, NGO. It's Mr. Andy No, the NGO. A wonderful, incredible, one of my favorites. I always look at him. Isn't that something? Who else? What do you want to do? You want to watch TV with it? You want to watch Fox News? Show me inclement weather. I'm deadly serious. Imagine you're sitting around and one day you're sitting next to God. You're at a bar having a drink and God says, let me show you something. You like magic? Yeah, well, this may be magic for you, but not me. Watch this. You mankind think that you are special. Now, years ago, my friends, I remember when I first started talking to people about geoengineering. Geoengineering, okay? And great people like Dane Wigington from geoengineeringwatch.org. We were called crazy, cray. And I said, what are you talking about? Just look at this. Oh, come on. That's not chemtrails. I said, I never called them chemtrails. You called them chemtrails. I've been telling people for the longest time, don't use that word chemtrail. Don't use that word chemtrail. I told you about it. I warned you. And Dane, by the way, is the man, Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org. He's it. There's nobody else. They just, and he started off saying, hey, which is normally how great inventions and discoveries start. I think he wanted to go off the grid. I think he was living somewhere in Northern California. I don't know what. And he had, solar collection panels. And he says, I don't understand it. Why am I not getting the power, the sunlight? And then he's looking at it. He goes, what the hell is going on? And then they started looking at the amount of aluminum and strontium and all these different kind of chemicals that are in the water. It's like, wait a minute. I think somebody's spraying something. And then you saw it clear as day. And people tried to convince me, no, that's water vapor. And I said, it's not water vapor. So I fought and said, this is the point where here he goes again. Here's the conspiracy theorist talking about where does he get this crazy? I said, cloud seeding and Operation Popeye. And in fact, it's online now. You can read what Bill Gates and Harvard and all these different various universities are talking about the dimming, solar radiation management, carbon dioxide removal. I've been talking about this. And Dane and I are saying, what? I mean, he's the man. I'm just a tyro. And now it's as though somebody rang the bell and they're saying, it's okay. Start talking about it. What do you mean? Just start talking about it. And little by little, we're hearing all about it.
Seeding is booming. They anticipate at least another 200 ground cloud seeding machines to be put in before next season.
Ginger, this is such a cool concept, but is it too good to be?
And this is such a cool concept. And this is such a cool concept. And I'm Honey BC. And this is such a cool concept. Oh, this is a cool concept. And I want to talk like that.
Before next season.
Oh, Ginger, this is such a cool concept, but is it too good to be true?
I mean, is it too good to be true? That hurts my throat.
How do we know that the chemicals that they're spraying from the air aren't bad for us or the planet?
How do we know that? You don't, schmuck. That's the point. Look at this. The power water. Listen to this.
The news is we've been doing this since the 1940s and 50s.
Wait a minute. You've been, whoa, what? You've been what?
Us or the planet.
The good news is we've been doing this since the 1940s and 50s. Other countries do it, and there have been a lot of research projects that have shown that the silver iodide, for example.
Silver iodide? Wait a minute. What's this? Who's this guy? Wait a minute. What's that guy doing? The power of water. Look what they're called. This is called climate crisis. The power. What's this guy doing?
Is not found. It's negligible once
Wait
it
a
gets
minute.
down to ground level.
What's this?
So, again, I don't want to be too skeptical, but is there anything wrong with manipulating
What are those? What are all those nozzles coming out of that there plane? Wait a minute.
like this?
I think that's the question we should have asked when we built every single parking lot and every rooftop. We have been manipulating weather with us for a very long time.
Oh, let it out. It's just going to hurt us. Can you believe this?
I do think that looking at and continuing research on when these programs get bigger, if it will affect people downstream, that needs to be watched.
Do you think?
We're manipulating it now to help the planet. So
we're going to help the planet because we never do anything that's bad. Right, Mr. Falbo? That's right. We're here to help people. We're here to help people because we never do anything to help them because I want to hurt people. Because we're good people. We always want to help people. We don't really want to hurt anybody. Right, Mrs. Falbo? That's right. That's right, Edgar. Sure. Just a minute. Crypto Domini says the X at Uncle Lenny. Thank you. Delu says, I used to watch all the time. I get burnt out. Now I'm back. Well, there you go. I'm glad you're back. That's right, Mrs. Falbo. By the way, that's the great SCTV, John Candy and Andrea Martin. Remember that? Mrs. Falbo? Loved it. The greatest. I was watching Five Neat Guys today with a friend of mine. You know, James Earl Jones died, and he's 93. Everybody says, oh, he was great. He was great. I don't know if he was great. I've never met him. I liked him. I had no reason not to like him. But people go into auto more, and obviously, I think he's great. He was always great. He's okay. He's great. I mean, I like him. But just because people die doesn't mean all of a sudden they're just great. So I wrote. So there's a friend of mine who takes me very seriously, and he thinks I know everything about show business. We had a little group chat, and I said, you know, James Earl Jones. It's a fascinating. He was a fascinating man. Let me read this text to you. I said, interesting facts about Mr. Jones. He was born in Arcaboutla, which is true, Mississippi. In 1931, he had a stutter since childhood. Jones said that poetry and acting helped him overcome the challenges of his disability, which is true. He was reputed to be extremely frightened by the size of Lincoln's ears and often went to bed without saying goodbye. During a brief period of transgenderism, Jones went by the name Ramona Rabinowitz, a down-on-her-luck chanteuse who took to the bottle. Later, after a fertilizer accident, he adopted his noted voice. Quite interesting. And my friends write back, I didn't know that. I'm just making, remember, if you say anything with a straight face, people will believe you. Look at Kamala. Now, my friends, as you probably know, I don't know what happened, why all of a sudden Tulsi Gabbard really can't she better do a couple of things here, which is okay. But she's going to be the president one day, and she's going to certainly run against Gavin Newsom. That's for sure. And she's a wunderkind. That's good, by the way, as a woman and a woman candidate.
Very simple.
Now, by the way, check this out. There's of course Tucker wearing, of course, the khaki pants, same shoes without the socks. This was my high school in 1976. We wore the same thing. I didn't do it. I never did it, but they did it. It was kind of like the preppy kind of look without the shoes. Okay, fine. Now here's Tulsi rather. And she's terrific. She's wonderful. Be careful. Enjoy the Tucker ride now, but don't append yourself to it. Just enjoy it now because he's very popular, and I enjoy the fact that he's going around. And who is that guy? Patrick Ben-David, who I don't understand what the fascination with that is, but he's doing it. Michael Franzese and others are going around, and it's wonderful. The very fact that our side, so to speak, is enjoying this, I think is terrific. But listen to how wise and how good in terms of her demeanor, her delivery, her sapience, the calm, the groove by which she expatiates.
I have a very simple message for my Democrat friends, my independent friends, those who may not be sure about who they're voting for in this election. Dick Cheney has just made the choice very clear. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Dick Cheney, the architect of everything that has gone wrong in the Middle East for the last few decades. And so it's interesting because if you listen to the New York Times or some of the other mainstream media, they're saying, oh, don't expect much from Kamala Harris in the way of policies and details and plans, and we're not going to know much about what kind of president she's going to be because she doesn't have much time.
Yeah, right.
They're conveniently ignoring the fact that she's been there working in the White House the last 3.5 years alongside Joe Biden.
Right.
She's been the last one in the room, according to her, as these big decisions are being made. But we look at who she says, her response to the Dick Cheney announcement today was that she was honored to have his endorsement. And we got military veterans in the house. Got a lot of you who probably served in the Middle East like I did. And so it sickened me, Tucker, to read those words today, both from Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, and Kamala Harris, because we have people who we care very much about who were killed in those wars because of Dick Cheney.
Yes, yes. In part, yes.
Kamala Harris has told us all we need to know about what kind of commander-in-chief she would be. And I don't know about you, but I would not trust her for a moment with the lives of my brothers and sisters in uniform.
By the way, someone said she sounds like a man. You did, Paul Jenkins. She sounds like a man. I'm going to say something to you, Mr. Jenkins. There is something about her that is important, and that is she has the countenance of strength, which may come across to you as sounding like a man. She doesn't sound like a girl. Remember that. That's very important. Margaret Thatcher never sounded like a girl. Jean Kirkpatrick never. Indira Gandhi. Go down the list. No, they didn't sound like girls. Leaders do not sound like girls. You know what I mean? AOC sounds like a child. Remember, it's a different story. MTG. Notice how Marjorie Taylor Greene's kind of been like, where's she been lately? Remember, always figure out who's not in the room anymore. Always figure out, hey, where'd they go? Where's Ilhan Omar? I don't know. After they tried to primary her, Keister, she barely made that. Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, remember the squad? Where are these people? No, I'm very, very, very impressed. Extremely impressed with her. Tucker, by the way, has got his groove. Tucker's got his style. Remember, make sure you have a style. Not clothes, but a style. And that style can be eclectic. It can be a lot of things too. But make sure it's a groove. But don't be predictable. Don't be hackneyed. Don't be stereotypical. Does this make any sense to you? Am I coming through, do you think? Do you grasp what I am saying? I hope you do. I hope you do, because what I say is absolutely beyond that of sapience. All right, my friends. This is a time for me to remind you, dear friends, colleagues, that My Patriot Supply, specifically this site and this site only. Ready? It's called preparewithlionel.com. And right now there is a super duper mega maga sale, the likes of which you cannot believe. It is without peer. And I want you to go and I want you to get it immediately. $300. You save $300. $300 off a 3-month emergency food kit. Go to preparewithlionel.com. And if the term emergency food doesn't get your attention, if I have to explain to you, well, why would we need emergency food, Mrs. Falbo? Well, probably because of an emergency. And if you don't think there's an emergency that is likely or in the offing, with this blithering idiot theoretically hovering around the possibility of taking the chair, so to speak, there's no help for you. Preparewithlionel.com, dear friends. Preparewithlionel.com. John McGuire says, haven't super chatted in a while. Not only is it no socks, but I believe those are opera slippers as well. Drive me nuts. No, they are not, by the way. No, they are not. But still, they're just, loafer types. But that's okay. But it's a groove. It's a groove. Please, if you're going to ever wear those socks, the best way is if you can really honestly handle no socks. If you wear those little sockless deals, make sure they are completely and totally invisible. Invisible. Don't let me see them, okay? Just don't. That's all I'm going to tell you. Don't let me see them, bruh. Literally, bruh. Okay? All right. This, by the way, was absolutely causing a conniption, a veritable conniption among the left because of Springfield, Ohio, and the notion of Haitians going crazy. And people are saying, and junk yogurt from the Young Turds, or he's saying this is conspiracy theory, and what are you, crazy? You're nuts. Oh my God. Johnny Mass says, Tulsa, as you call her, Tulsi would have been a much better pick than Vance. Agreed 100%. Agree 100%. 100%. I don't know. Ready for this? I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to listen to me. Don't ever tell anybody I told you this. What do you think is a possibility of Trump not liking her because she is so tough and so strong that she's not the typical batty-eyed ditz that he's familiar with? The people that hang around him, you know what I mean? The type like the Guilfoyles and the Alina Habas and the usual, Hope Hicks, oh, I love you. And by the way, is that Margot Martin? I haven't seen her. Has she been around there? Remember that one? Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, they start rising to the top. And then Melania probably comes in and says, don't even think about it. Because women, of course, are predatory. And that group in particular. What do you think the chances are of Trump saying? Because if Tulsi just kind of says, how are you, Tulsi Gabbard? Have a seat. Thanks. I don't know if he likes the ones who bat their eyes. Oh, I love it. I don't know. I'm just got to be fair. Got to be honest. Okay. Give me there is nothing better than a Maggie Thatcher. You can say whatever you want about Golda Meir. You can say whatever you want. Good, bad, Israel, whatever. But tough. The old lady from Milwaukee, she was a wild woman, a profligate, a sexual freak. Remember her story? Golda Meir? Oh my God. You can't believe it. I mean, very independent, very wild, very libertine, dare I say. Jean Kirkpatrick, I always liked her. I like strong women. It's like Mrs. L. I want a strong woman. I don't want some little girl, some girly. So I just wonder. Trump likes a little bit of fawning. Trump's like a little bit of people being a little awe. You know what I mean? Maybe a lot of people do. Just my thoughts. Now, you heard about this story about this Jamaican woman, or excuse me, this Haitian woman, either from Haiti or from America, who's of Haiti. I don't know. But all of a sudden, they're talking about all these cats missing in Springfield, Ohio from the Haitians. Have you heard this one today? It's the greatest story in the world. 50,000 people or so in Springfield, 20,000 of Haitians added. And this is a story everybody's talking about is this one.
What did you do?
This is of course my favorite. I told you I love vest cams. This is my favorite. Imagine getting this call, okay? Think about this.
Why'd you kill the cat?
Remember, someone killed the cat. And that is that. Kenny Rankin did this. Someone killed the cat. Anyway, start off with this. You don't get 1 Adam 12 too much from this.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat?
Why'd you kill the cat? That would be what, a felicide, I guess, maybe perhaps, or ailerophobe. No, ailerocide, because ailerophile is somebody who likes cats. Ailerophobe, somebody who hates cats. Ailerocide, you be the judge.
Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this.
This is showing her teeth. This woman is not necessarily of her right mind.
Did you eat that cat?
Did you eat that cat? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been around for a long time, see? And you don't get too many stories like this one.
Did you eat it?
Did you eat the cat? I mean, now listen, please, don't fight the urge, please. This is a family show. Please, I beg you. Don't go for the pun. Don't go for, just please let it go.
No, why'd you kill it?
Why'd you kill it?
Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah.
Now, this woman is not well, obviously.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's
The Humane Society, a little late for that.
deceased.
It's deceased.
What did you do?
Now, I don't know about you, but something to me is proof that there is a news god who says, I got one for you. What? You're going to love this one. What? About the cat. What? You'll see. Hey, JD Vance, cat ladies, not this one. Not this one. I can see it. We're Springfield. We're pet friendly. Well, sort of. Now, let's take this a step further, ladies and gentlemen, because as you probably know, a lot of folks, you might be saying, people like this dingbat, Mad Max, she said, there's a reason why people are making such a big deal out of this. And you know why, right? Because they're Haitian. Because they're Haitian and because it's a black thing and something about France.
Let me just say this, that Haitians have been the victims of, not only our country, but Canada and France for years, historically.
Victim of what, Max? By the way, nice wig.
They're black, they're poor. It's the poorest country in the hemisphere. They have been exploited.
And they're not communists, by the way. They are capitalists. Just want to let you know, they're not Marxists. They're capitalists.
And it continues all the time. They are not, it does not appear that they're seen in the same way that they see others.
Especially when some of them, not all of them, but when some of them are eating pets.
Haitians have been the victims because they were the first country to fight off, the repression of France.
Yeah,
and of course, France have made them pay a big price for it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they're treated differently because they're black, because they're Haitians, and because traditionally they have not been treated as human beings.
Really? You think that's it, huh? Well, okay. Well, you know what? This black gentleman might have a little bit of a he might differ with you somewhat.
It's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun because I see what's going on in these streets and I
Springfield City Commission, ladies and gentlemen.
see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits and I'm getting out here every day and I'm broadcasting this and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans.
Now, do you think this is a racist? Do you think this man is, do you think this is a racist? Do you think he knows anything about blackness or negritude? I'm just saying.
I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know.
He's a racist. This man may appear to be black, but he's not. He's an agent provocateur, perhaps an imposter.
Oh, like, who's getting paid from it? I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background.
Do you think, wait a minute, whoa, do you think that maybe, just maybe, that people from this administration, from the shadow government, do you think that maybe, I think we're onto something, might have perhaps greased the skids and greased the palms to facilitate and accelerate this particular type of, dare I say, infestation of illegals and the like who have a particular interesting dietary penchant?
You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something.
In America?
And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro.
You hear this?
They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them.
Now, hang on a minute. Now, wait a minute. Now we're talking about... When was the last time you heard this? Maybe Junk Yogurt thinks this is just some crazy right-wing conspiracy. One more time, please.
Coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park,
bro,
grabbing up ducks,
literally
by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get like a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns and they look for dope and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for going left to center and a couple miles over. Y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive. Since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic, they need to. Y'all pay them. They can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive because it's getting bro. I'm getting thousands of views on these. And it's going to get bigger. And it's.
By the way, do you hear this? This is the voice. This is this new video sentry, the new voice of this again, the sentry, SENTRY, the citizen activist. Not the local Channel 5 Action News, but this gentleman.
Only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a t-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets, and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is. Y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all really got to stand on business. Y'all getting paid all this money just to wear a suit and sit in a chair. I think it's crazy, bro. We got to do something, bro. It's kids out here getting hurt. Only reason I even went on here and said something about it is because somebody told me they walking from the school and a Haitian almost ran into them. And who is getting paid? How much money is y'all really getting paid, to bring them over here? I know it's deeper than them. I know that's where they come from, and that's what they do. That's their country. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they can't do that over here. And if y'all just getting paid from it and then y'all ain't doing nothing about it, I think that's super weird, bro. Y'all got to stand on business. Y'all got to really step up. It's lame, bro. For real.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the most incredibly brilliant, eloquent, pointed, absolutely limpid and pellucid, articulate explication, expatiation, and limbing of the gravamen of the issues that these poor, proud Americans have to deal with. Incredible. Let me see here. Linda Hazlitt says, why do you think Tucker is not coming to New York City, or is it just the obvious? I don't know. I would think maybe he wants a smaller. I don't know. But I think if he did, he would pack the house. Edie Crowley says, I was threatened on a city bus today, talking in a private conversation. A gent announced himself as an illegal immigrant and told me to watch myself. Wow. I'm an illegal immigrant. Watch yourself. See, this is demented. And by the way, I wonder if Maxine Waters, and thank you for that, dear friend. Oh, hang on a minute. Mel says, I think Angel One and his band of Misfit Toys needs to go to Springfield. You know, you're right about that. That's, of course, our good friend Curtis Sliwa, Curtis Rock Sliwa, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a couple of things here. Let's go back to what Maxine Waters said. This is because they're black. And the fact that that gentleman was black, well, I think, you might say, well, doesn't that disqualify? Not at all. Listen to this woman. Listen to this woman. This sound. She must be, again, a part of this crazy, right-wing conspiracy. And by the way, this before the one and only debate. The Democrats are saying they're doing what? Eating cats? Wait a minute. What? This is the story. If I didn't know better, some people say, the left might be planting it in order to draw out. I don't know. But watch this. Listen to this poor woman.
With what I'm seeing, it is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me. I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly. And last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally.
It's incredible. Absolutely. This is in our country. This is in our country. It absolutely blows my mind. It blows my mind. You know who always has been a part of this? I love the idea of the appropriation, cultural appropriation, especially when people like to, and the Dems really love to do this. They think that they can just be anybody they want. Oh, Kamala can all of a sudden take on an accent. She can be this or that, or she can be black one minute. She could be, Pam Grier the next. She could be, Cinderella Jones or whatever. Remember the great blaxploitation? Come on, sucker. That kind of a, come on, jive ass turkey suck. I love this. Huggy Bear. And then next thing you know, she never does the Indian thing. But the woman who was just gone and you'll never see her again, who must be going crazy, is Jill, Dr. Jill, who had her moment in the sun. Let's look back at great moments of cultural appropriation brought to you by the Bidens.
So say it with me. Si se puede.
That means the duck lays down on the grass. Most people don't know that, but that's actually what she said.
So say it with me. Si se puede.
Let's get a look at that crowd.
The future is ours.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
On behalf of my husband and the people of the United States.
Yes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Okay. All right. Okay. Feel the excitement.
Diversity of this community, as distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx.
The Bogotas of the Bronx, not the bodegas, but the Bogotas, as in Bogota, Colombia.
As distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx.
Bogota.
As beautiful as the blossoms of Miami.
The blossoms of Miami? What the hell does that mean?
And as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio.
Oh, I'm not being pedantic. No. This is the best. This is going to be good. This guy is ready for Freddie.
I can speak Spanish fluently. I'm just doing this to... just have one thing to say. Hang on here. There you go. Dance.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Doesn't that just say it all? Doesn't that just say it all? By the way, there's one, I think there's one piece I forgot to. Let me see if I can bring this one up. Is this the one? I think this was it. No, hang on a minute. Let me get rid of one here. Let me get rid of this. There we go. Get rid of that one. Let me bring one more up. One more that Joe said years ago that you might find of interest. I think, is it this one?
God awful thing to say.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this. Okay, you ready? Everybody, pay attention. All right, kids? Uncle Lenny wants you to pay attention. Listen to what Joe says about this place called Haiti that Maxine Waters feels this connection to.
A god awful thing to say. If Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet, it wouldn't matter a whole lot in terms of our interest.
There you go. One more time.
A god awful thing to say. If Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet, it wouldn't matter a whole lot in terms of our interest.
There you go. That's our boy. And by the by, I don't know if you saw this one, but the other day, Nancy Pelosi was asked, Nancy, did you ever find out why that dude was in your husband's house with an underwear and the hammer? Just kidding. You know, Nancy, can you think of a good reason why one would maybe want to vote for Kamala? Remember that one? And Jamie Raskin was asked about that as well. Old Jamie. Did you hear this one?
I want to play this clip from Anderson Cooper's show last night where he interviewed former Speaker Pelosi. Take a listen.
Watch this.
Is Vice President Kamala Harris the best running mate for this president?
He thinks so, and that's what matters.
Do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the Vice President of the United States. So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the Vice President. That's the job description. You don't do that much.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement.
Oh, you don't do that. What's she saying?
People say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the Vice President. That's the job description. You don't do that much.
You don't do that much. You don't. Say that again.
So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the Vice President. That's the job description. You don't do that much.
Wow.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement. Do you think Vice President Kamala Harris is the best running mate for President Biden? And what do you make of Speaker Pelosi's answer there?
I mean, there didn't seem to be anything wrong with that answer. Obviously, President Biden, Vice President Harris, Speaker Pelosi, for that matter, all of us have been laboring under just a deluge of propaganda, disinformation, and criticism by the MAGA right.
You are doing what Speaker Pelosi did, which is not answering the question. Do you think Kamala Harris is the best running mate for President Biden?
Is it? Well, obviously, she gave the right answer. That's President Biden's choice.
It's just a simple question. Do you think Kamala Harris is the best running mate for President Biden? You've said she's excellent. That's farther than Speaker Pelosi went. But do you think she's the best? I'm not trying to throw anything into turmoil. I actually think it's a pretty simple question. Do you think Kamala Harris is the best running mate for President Biden? Yes or no?
I mean, I don't know what else I can say other than she would be an excellent running mate and an excellent vice president. I don't know whether President Biden has named his running mate. We're going to a convention next summer. It's a year away from now, and we're going to go through that process. So,
I mean, you say I don't know why you can say. The answer is you could say yes. You could say yes. I think Kamala Harris is the best vice president and the best running mate for President Biden. That's the answer you could be giving right now. Yes, she is.
So I've not seen any public opinion polling. You might be a stronger vice presidential running mate than her or me or anybody else. Wow. I don't know.
Nothing's changed since then, my friends. Nothing has changed. Do you understand this? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Nelson A says, I don't recognize our country. Sad, Uncle Lenny. If we don't fight, another Cuba will occur. If we don't fight, another Cuba will occur? No, I don't think so. Not a Cuba. There's this. No, not Cuba. Soul says, Soul 76, Dems candidate we selected was polling single digits in primary, so we had to rig it for her. Now get out and vote for her to save democracy. Absolutely. Isn't it amazing to you? Isn't it amazing? And one more thing. What did Joe Biden feel about Haiti?
A god-awful thing to say. If Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet,
wow,
it wouldn't matter a whole lot in terms of our interest.
Can you honest to God believe this even happened? Do you recognize anything anymore, my friends? Do you recognize this place? Doesn't it make you say to yourself, dear God, what happened? How is this? How does this? Why aren't people saying, oh, you can't do this? Oh, no, we can't. Oh, no, we can't do this. We can't allow this. How does this happen? What happened to us? What happened to our country? What happened to who we are? It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. It's absolutely, it blows my mind. We will see. Tomorrow night is going to be, are you excited for tomorrow? I can't tell you how. Absolutely, I can't wait. Because remember, 7 o'clock, we're going to do our usual show. Then we're going to watch it at 9. And then we're going to come back. And you're going to be taking all kinds of notes. It's going to be an absolute beaut, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, an absolute beaut. Now, before I forget, let me tell you one thing. Don't forget our dear friends. You know this man. You love him. Mike Lindell from our good friends at MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. To luxuriate, to find yourself ensconced neath and tween the percales and the bolsters and the pillows and the blankets and the toppers and the duvets and the slippers and the it's when it comes to that which inspires durmiendo, there's nothing better than MyPillow.com. Promo code Lionel. Promo code Lionel. Let me also tell you, lest you forget, dear friend, let me tell you that, my friends, on the 26th of October, you heard me, we're going to be here for 10 days before the election. 10 days, and let me tell you, the election, and that's the link right there for the cutting room, and it's 57 days, or 56, depends how you look at it, days until the election. Absolutely incredible. So, my friends, what a day it has been. What a rare mood I'm in. And I mean that. Freedom, by the way, Freedom says, why is CNN and MSNBC and others very deep haters of Trump allowed to favor Kamala and run down a former president? It's deeply criminal. No, Freedom, it's their right. It's freedom of speech. They can say what they want, just like Jesse Waters. I guess he got out of his problem with Kamala. Yeah, you know, look, they're entitled to that. No problem. Crypto Domini says, thanks, Uncle Lenny. Well, you know what, Crypt? Thank you. And Freedom, thank you. And Soul, and Nelson A, and Mel, and Edie Crowley, and Linda Hazlitt, and Johnny Mass, the Spaz, and John McGuire couldn't get higher. And 35 Duluth, thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for your... And by the way, also, thank you for being a part of Mrs. L's live stream at Lynn's Warriors. Are you subscribed to Lynn's Warriors? I'm telling you, Lynn's Warriors. And one more thing, my friend. You better follow me on Twitter right here, because this is still Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is it. This is it. It's the single best immediate kind of breaking news area. And you can, and there's my link right there. You can jump into it at any particular level that you find inviting or the like. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does this make sense to you? Okay. It's all that matters. As long as it makes sense to you. As long as it makes sense to you. All right? You got it? Good. All right, my dear friends. Thank you so much for being with us. Hang in there, dear friends. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Don't forget also, subscribe to Lionel Nation, because I did a video today comparing Tom Brady and his NFL debut with Kamala. And also a review, a brutal review, an adumbration, a breakdown, a synthesis of the debacle that this country was, unending regarding Afghanistan. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. Until tomorrow, I leave you with these words, this valedictory, this adios, this sayonara. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.